meeting. It is a mark of our tradition to evoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. Let us start with a prayer.
Hello, Soumya. The prayer is not audible, Soumya.
I may have the privilege to call Mrs. Aganksha Prajapati to welcome each of the dignitaries.
Thank you, Soumya. Good evening, one and all. It gives me great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to everyone who has joined on this virtual platform for the 30th Insight In-Depth Invited Talk series, hosted by the research wing of the Mar Theophilus Training College, Thiruvananthapuram. First of all, I welcome Dr. K.Y. Bendick, sir, Principal Mar Theophilus Training College, whose efficient leadership and guidance has helped the college to excel in all our endeavors. We welcome you, sir, to the program. Today, we have with us an eminent educationist as our resource person, Dr. Suresh KJ, former Associate Professor, NSS Training College, Changnacherry, Kerala, who will be speaking on the topic Positive Coping Strategies, the key for the stress-free life. We welcome you, sir, to the program. Let me also welcome Dr. Joju John, sir, Research Coordinator, Research Wing of the Mar Theophilus Training College, our constant source of motivation. We welcome you, sir, to the program. Finally, let me welcome each one of you, teachers, research supervisors, research scholars, B.Ed and M.Ed students from all over the country who have joined us today for yet another enriching session. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Aganksha. I invite Priya UV to introduce the guest of honor for today's session.
Thank you, Soumya. So, good evening. I am Priya. On behalf of Madhya Plus Training College, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all honorable dignitaries, teachers, and dear participants. It's my intense pleasure to welcome you all for the today's Insight Invited Talk. So, let's start with an quoting from by William Shakespeare. It's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Yes, it's time to introduce our guest, a man who has confidence in himself, gains the confidence of others. It's my distinct honor and high privilege to introduce our guest, speaker of today's Insight Invited Talk. We are indeed privileged to have a noted educationalist and an amazing personality, Dr. Suresh KJ Sir, former Associate Professor, NSS Training College, Changanasheri, with more than 23 years of teaching experience. As part of the participation in government and university bodies, he has held in various positions as visiting team member NCTE, former member B.Ed M.Ed Curriculum Revision Committee, University of Calicut, chairman, Board of B.Ed Theory Examination, NG University, Question Paper Setter for Central University, and Question Paper Scrutining Board member, University of Kerala. He paved a strong foundation as a resource person in various platforms like WWF, that is World Fund for Nature, UGC sponsored natural and national seminar on global warming and climate change, held talks on Walk with and Scholar program in colleges, motivation classes on Life is Precious in National Service Scheme campus. Resource person in seminar on science teaching for 21st century in connection with National Science Day, subject expert in the interview board and examiner, Kela, PSC. Behind all his academic records, he never forgot to hold his passions throughout. Yes, he was awarded with the Talented Writer Award by CTEF in the year 2020. Going through his publications, he has published more than 25 academic research papers, developed an e-content module, SLO on multiple intelligence for MG University, published many poems, articles, and dramas in weeklies, magazines, and newspapers. And among all, a noted publication, an anthology named Time Pulichavele, proved himself to be a noted poet too. Sir, we are really proud and privileged to have you as our chief guest and speaker for today's invited talk. So once again, I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Before we get started, few humble requests to all the participants. First of all, turn off your microphone as this will facilitate the smooth running of our talk. Second, this talk will be recorded.
Soumya, your voice is missing.
And it will be given to you later through the YouTube platform of MDTC. Audible,
Yeah,
sir?
audible. Carry on.
This talk will be recorded by us and it will be given to you later through the YouTube platform of MDTC. E-certificate will be issued to all participants and we will provide the feedback form in the chat box after the talk. During the presentation time, your valuable comments, suggestions, and doubts in the chat box, which will be considered the discussion session after we run out of stock. Okay, thank you. I call Dr. Suresh sir to present their concept. Welcome, sir, and over to you.
Hello, Suresh sir. Am I audible, Suresh sir? Am I audible, Suresh sir?
Okay.
You can begin. Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening to all. Am I audible? Because this
Yes,
is
sir, audible, sir. Thank you, sir.
because this is the first thing we have to ask in any online class. That's why I asked it. That's a routine. Ajaram. Okay. Thank you for inviting me to this Insight series talk. This is the 30th talk. I have had so many talks in this series. I'm very happy that I have been invited to deliver a talk in this Insight series. I'm thankful to Dr. Benedict Meyer, the principal. He's my friend, Dr. Joju John, then Dr. Maya, and all other teachers, because I personally know all these teachers. Okay. We have hardly got 1 or 1.5 hours for the session, because up to 6 o'clock only the session is there. So 1 hour, 15 minutes, I think. So I don't know whether I can cover all these topics in 1 hour, because it's an elaborate topic. It's a big topic. So I'll try my maximum to cover all these things. But one thing, at first I will tell you that this is not something new. Whatever I tell here, whatever I speak here, all these are practiced by us knowingly or unknowingly in our day-to-day life. So I'm just pointing whether that is suitable, whether that is good for our life, and whether it should be adopted throughout in the future life also. Okay. Since we don't have much time, I'll just directly go to the presentation.
Sir, continue, sir. Some of the participants from North wants to have it sometimes in Hindi also. That's why they are giving the message. You continue, sir, please.
I know Hindi a little bit, but I don't know how to take a class in Hindi. That's the problem. Okay, can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's not coming in my... Can you see the PowerPoint?
It's visible for us.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
But you have to shift it to the presentation mode.
Actually, I have shifted that one to the mode, but it's not properly coming. That's it. If you can see, it's okay. Can you see that one? Presentation?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, our today's topic is positive coping strategies, the key for a stress-free education and life. Okay, I just introduced that it's not a new topic. Every day we practice, every day, unknowingly or knowingly, we practice all these coping strategies, but we don't know whether it is related to stress, or is it a coping strategy, or it is related to life. So before directly jumping into the topic, I'll just show you some pictures. Because all this presentation, it's not verbal presentation. I have put maximum number of pictures in this presentation, because in this online classroom mode, there is no point in talking too much, because actually in communication, teaching communication, we teach that this proximity is very important in teaching. But in the present day situation, it is not possible to have the proximity. Everybody is just scattered all over Kerala or India. So we cannot have this proximity. That's very important. We are teaching through the online mode. So one thing, I'll put an unconditional condition before starting this session. I know your data is very valuable, but still in between, you have to respond. Then only you will get the motivation to take the class. Sometimes in between, you just switch on your video also, so that I can see your face also, because without seeing the face, it is difficult to take a good class. So, okay, I'll just directly start. Before showing, going to the topic, I'll just show certain pictures. I know you people may be familiar with these pictures. Can anybody answer who these people are? Hello? Hello?
This is one one girl from Kollam who committed suicide in IIT Chennai. Okay. I don't remember her name.
I think it is
Fatima.
Arya, sir.
She's
is
from
Fatima.
Kollam, that I know. Fatima.
Okay.
Fatima.
Then all other people are also from IIT. You know what happened to them? Hello, students also should respond. It is not the responsibility of the principal to respond always. I hope the students also will respond. Hello, any student is hearing me? Hello?
Namaste, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you also, okay. Okay. You know, anybody knows other people? Okay, it's okay, because since we don't have time, I'll just directly go to that one. All these people are IIT students. What happened to them? Nothing, but they committed suicide. This is Nimisha, this is Fatima from Kollam, and all these people are from IIT. And this fellow, his name is Nitin. He left a note on his bed that let me sleep, and committed suicide. You know, the IIT people, they are selected through a selection procedure called JEE main examination and JEE advanced examination. The most brilliant students of India are attending these examinations. Every year, around 12 lakh to 13 lakh students, the brilliant students, all over India attend these courses. And first they go to the JEE main examination. And from that one, and usually 1 lakh or 2 lakh people are selected, and they won't get into IIT. Then again, the JEE advanced examination is there. And from there, only 5,000 students or maximum 10,000 students get admission into this IIT. Means they are the super brains of India. Then why did they commit suicide? Can anybody answer? Hello? Because they have a
Maybe
good
sir,
future.
engineering
If
college
somebody-
education and its stress.
Okay.
They don't know how to
correct
cope up with
answer.
the stress.
See, yes. See, these people, usually if you get admission to the IIT and pass out from the IIT, you will get a big salary. Big salary means you can't imagine such big salary. 1 crore, if you are a computer engineer, then sometimes you may get 1 crore per year or 2 crore per year. Even in the other engineering branches also, it is around 25 lakhs or 50 lakhs. It comes like that. So they are the super brains, most brilliant people. Still, they couldn't complete 20 years of age and hello? Is there any problem?
No, sir.
Hello?
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Still, they committed suicide. They didn't even complete 20 years of age. The best age they couldn't complete. Even the adolescents, in that period itself, they committed suicide. And up to 19 years, it is adolescents. You can see. Okay. Then means a student commits, every hour a student commits suicide in India. That's a big statistics. See, this is the statistics from all over India. See, in 2016, it was 9,478, and in 2018, it is more than 10,000. And in the 3-year total comes around 30,000. Can you imagine? They are the super brains. In last year itself, around 50 IIT students committed suicide. You can just check this data in the internet. So my point is that education is just only a part of life. The most important thing is life, and it contributes to life. That's all. All other parts are there. All other manifestations are there. Friends are there. Family is there. Values are there. Dreams are there. Interests are there. Skills are there. Finally, all these should contribute to life. That's all. If it is not contributing to life, then it is fruitless. See, there's a story. One young boy, young man, went to a palmist and showed his hand. Can you read this? How is my fortune? Okay, then the palmist looked at the palm, and how is my health line? It's okay. How is my marriage? It's okay. Everything is okay. But still he was gloomy. What's wrong with this? Then he told, your lifeline is missing. Your lifeline is, if there is no life, then what is the benefit of having this kind of top education, IIT education? So life is important. That's one thing which I have to. So so many different forms of education are coming into this arena of health. Holistic education, joyful learning, imaginative education, peace education, all these new concepts, new ideas coming into the world. So I'll just go to, this is one of the most brilliant quote saying about education by John Dewey. Education is not a preparation for life, but it is education is life itself. That we usually forget. We usually forget about life, and we just go for tomorrows, because we are learning too much and going for the tomorrows, but not today's. So I'll just change my topic, because earlier the topic was positive coping strategies, the key for education and life. I'll just add certain things to that one. In this slide, you can see there is a smiling child, and there's a beautiful butterfly. So I'm adding something more to that one. And the statement also, the title also, I have changed. Coping strategies, the key for a happy life. So if I give this title from the very beginning itself, nobody would attend the seminar, because this fellow is going to talk about happy. Everybody knows the meaning of happy. But one thing I may ask you, are you really happy? If I give the title like achievement or success in life, no, so many people may attend the seminar. But if I give the title like the happy life, nobody will attend. Some people may attend. Just one thing, I'm asking to all students, all teachers, are you really happy today? Are you really happy? I can't see any face. Hello? Hello? Okay, no, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay,
That's correct,
that's good. Okay, one thing, students, you can do one thing. You can just give the message also. You need, sometimes you may not be able to give the response in verbal message, but you can give this one also, messages also, so that I can see that. Okay, so because in today's situation, nobody can be happy, because everywhere we are just locked down due to the corona. Sometimes you might, some of your relatives or friends might have died of corona. Natural calamities are going on. So many people have lost their jobs, so may not be happy. Even if it is there, still we may not be happy. Happy is a word, happy is a concept which is usually missing from us. So I'm going to talk about happy life. How it may be good for education, it may be good for life, future, everything, but it is very useful for happy life. Okay. So I'm not going too much going to theory of that one. I will just introduce that term only. Stress, you may be familiar with that term stress. Sometimes the other term, tension or anxiety or whatever it is you call. Stress is the term usually used to describe the physical, emotional, cognitive and behavioral response of the individual to events that are uprising, threatening or challenging. Because from the environment, so many things are happening around us. Sometimes we may respond positively, sometimes negatively, sometimes it may be physical or emotional or cognitive or behavioral responses. Okay, it came from a Latin word, stringere means hardship or strain. Okay, I'm not going to, even in our yoga philosophy, it was there. This concept was there, concept of stress was there. It was called klesha or worry or dukkha, sorrow. And klesha referred to stressor and dukkha referred to stress response. You know the body language of stress. Whenever we see this body language, we can see whether that person is stressed or not. See, this person may be having headache. This lady may be having headache. They are quarreling and she is totally out of control. All these persons are stressed. So by seeing the body language itself, we can see this is headache. See, whenever we put our hand in communication, when we teach the classroom communication, we talk about gestures. By showing this gesture itself, we can see whether that person is having any problem. Totally exhausted. This is the body language. Anger. From seeing that one, we can see that that person is stressed. Okay. Mess means heaps of pending works. Itself shows that that person is also stressed. Okay. Anxiety. Whenever you write the examination, some people will be like this. You can see how the eyes are there, that person is sweating. All these are symptoms of stress. Okay, so stress is caused. What is the difference between stress and anxiety? Stress is caused by an existing stress causing factor. The factor may be there. The stressor may be there in the environment, but anxiety, there may not be any stress factor. Even if the stressor is gone, then also the anxiety may remain. So before coming the stressor, then also the anxiety may be there. That's an internal thing, and stress is sometimes caused by an external thing. Then body symptoms that control stress. These are the body systems. Body system, the central nervous system. The central nervous system, you know, brain, then brainstem, spinal cord, and everything will come. Then the endocrine system, especially the pituitary and adrenal glands. Then the immune system. All these are these control the stress. This is the picture of a brain. Some of you may be knowing all these things. See, this is temporal lobe. Can you see that one? Hello? Actually, this temporal lobe deals with intellectual and emotional functions. Then Broca's area, frontal lobe actually deals with judgment. So these were temporal lobe is there, petrol lobe is occipital lobe, vernix area. But our concern, that is stress actually deals with the brain stem. Hello? Anybody is hearing?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we are listening, sir. Thank you, sir.
And in between you have to, hello, in between you have to respond. Otherwise, I may not be knowing whether you hear or not. That's why I'm stopping.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay. See, this one, the brain stem, actually that is dealing with the involuntary, all these, for example, breathing, heartbeat, all these are activities, involuntary activities are controlled by the brain stem. Okay. So I'll just focus to that brain stem only. So here comes the hypothalamus, and this is amygdala, and this is hippocampus. So these parts actually controlled with the emotions, then our responses, and all these things. Hypothalamus controls the body temperature, hunger, fatigue, sleep, and everything. Amygdala deals with memory, decision making, and emotional responses. Then hippocampus deals with memory and navigation and all these things. So this part controls our stress response and coping strategies. Okay. So they produce, this is pituitary gland, it produces the certain hormones, and it goes to liver, kidney, and everything, and through all over our body. And as a part of that one, these responses are usually produced. Okay, these are the hormones usually produced. Adrenaline will be there. Actually, it causes the fight or flight syndrome. Then cortisol actually brings back us to normal condition. Then oxytocin, that's another hormone, which is called a love hormone. Actually, this oxytocin causes love making, sex, and everything. Then serotonin, it causes the depression and everything. If serotonin is not coming properly, it may cause depression and everything. Then these are certain symptoms of body. I'll just finish about the stress in a few minutes. These are the body symptoms and mind's response to demand. For example, sometimes you may have back pain. You may not be knowing the correct reason for that. Or sometimes headaches may be there, decreased immunity, cold will be there, acne. Acne means pimple. Usually young people get pimples on their face. Then rapid heartbeat, palpitation, sleep disturbances will be there, loss of appetite, anger will be the depression, irritability. All these anxiety, nervousness, and restlessness, all these will be there, but we may not be knowing what the actual reason is, and we will think that we are not stressed. But all these things may be because of stress only. We don't know that one actually. Okay, so stress can affect our body, our emotions, our behavior, our mind also. Body, I have already told, headaches, frequent infections, and muscular twitches, fatigue, etc. Then emotions mean loss of confidence, or you may sometimes become more fussy. Everything will be in a mess. Irritability will be there. Depression will be there. Apathy, alienation, all these things will be there. Mind, in the case of mind, worrying or muddled thinking, we may not be able to properly think about certain things. Impaired judgments, our judgments may sometimes become faulty. Nightmares, indecisions, negativity to all. Then behavior, accident-prone behavior. Once you are stressed, we know that sometimes the glass may drop from our hand. If you drive a car, sometimes it may go and collide. So all these things will be there. Then loss of appetite. Sometimes overeating will be there because of stress. People may eat so much. Sometimes less eating will be there. All these things. Then loss of sex drive. May not be interested in the partner. Sometimes loss of sex drive. Then drinking. Some people may go for smoking, drinking, drugs, etc. Insomnia, sleeplessness, restlessness. All these things will be there. So it can manifest in body, emotions, mind, and behavior. So these are the things happening of stress. For example, in the brain, or in the head, you may have headaches, feelings of despair, lack of energy, sadness, all those things will be there. There may be skin problems. There may be aches in the muscle joints, and tension will be there. Then heartbeat may be faster. Blood pressure may be high. Then stomach pain may be there, heartburn will be there, weight gain or weight loss may be there. Then pancreas, increased risk of diabetes, because people having chronic stress may have diabetes or sometimes cancer also. It can cause cancer also. Then intestinal problems, constipation, diarrhea, and all these things will be there, because when the examination is coming, some people may get diarrhea, ill, or and sometimes they may get admitted in the hospital also just before the examination, just because of stress, not because of any other cause. Then reproductive system, for example, in most of the case, in the case of women, especially these female students, irregular periods will be there and painful periods will be there, especially in the case of examination period or just before the examination, they may have irregular periods. So many female students are having that, and then reduced sexual desire and all those things will be there. For men, impotence may occur. See how fatal it is. Then immune system, it may lower your ability to recover from illness. Stress, okay, I'm just summarizing that one. Physical means high blood pressure, increased heart rate, high cholesterol, decrease in body temperature. Psychological, anger, anxiety, tension, boredom, inability to concentrate, nervousness. Then behavioral, then you may have alcohol, smoking, drugs, insomnia. Insomnia means sleeplessness, under or overeating, absenteeism, and etc. Okay, so this is called the stress performance curve. Stress performance curve. Okay, see, you can see at the beginning, this is actually this y-axis shows the performance, and here the x-axis shows the stress. Okay, at the beginning, the stress will be okay. Too little stress, it may be okay, but you may not be acting. You may not be willing to work. You may not be performing. But after that, after a certain extent, when it reaches a certain amount, the stress will be there, and then actually it motivates us to work optimum. And after a certain, then when the stress is too much, our performance may decrease. You can see that one. Performance may decrease, and after another period, it can cause harm to that. That is called distress. So this is called a human performance curve. That is called eustress. The two terms are used for that one. Positive stress. That means eustress means the stress which activates us, stress which helps us to work, stress which helps us to motivate. Then the next thing is distress or negative stress. It is called acute stress or episodic to a certain extent. And the chronic stress, it means it becomes toxic. It can kill you. That way, it can kill you mentally or physically or what. This is a stress response curve. Actually, you can see that one. The stress is the comfort zone is here. You can see this comfort zone, and actual performance goes down after a certain level. So at the first stage you will be sleeping, and then you will get alerted. Then the performance will be optimal, and after that one, the performance goes down. The anxiety comes. Then towards the end, the stress will be high, and disorganization will be there. Total collapse will be there. So stress, understand that. Just understand that. Just know that stress is a silent killer. It may not kill you sometimes physically. Certain people may kill themselves. That's what we saw in the beginning. The IIT students, they killed themselves just because of stress. But for the other people, we may not be knowing it is killing us. It is a silent killer. It can cause you, it can kill you physically, slow death, by inch death. And then another thing, it can kill you mentally. It can kill you emotionally. So understand that the stress is a silent killer. Either you kill the stress or the stress may kill you. Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Audible. Yes, audible.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
these are
Audible.
the,
Audible,
actually
sir.
there is a stress scale called Holmes-Rahe life stress scale. This is the first 10 things, stressful life events in our life. The first one, that is, the score is 100 for spouse death of the husband or wife or something. Then divorce, marriage separation, jail term, death of a close relative, injury, illness, marriage, firing from job, that is losing the job, marriage, reconciliation, retirement also. So the list again goes. So many other, you can get that one from the internet. So these are the most stressful events. Then sources of stress. Source of stress means sometimes it can be physiological stress. Physiological, we all know that illness. If you are having certain illness, naturally we will be stressed. Lack of sleep. If you don't sleep properly, just before the examination, just the last night, you may not be able to properly write the examination. Then poor nutrition also a cause of that one. So these are physiological factors. Then cognitive or psychological factors. That's very important. That's we are going to discuss attitude, belief, or our thoughts. Then socio-cultural stresses, we know sometimes people may be having financial problem, relationship problem, work problem, all these will be there. Then environmental stresses called heat, cold, noise, traffic, pollution. Suppose we are in the middle of a heavy traffic and in the blockade, then naturally we will get stressed. So all these are there. So our just focus is on cognitive or psychological factor, that is internal factor. See, our perception itself can cause perception. That's very important thing. See, I am showing certain psychological figures. Sometimes you might have seen all these figures. Can anybody say what is this? Or at least students can do one thing. If you have a paper, you can just write what you see in this picture before telling. Hello? Students, please write what you see in this picture. Because if somebody comments on that one, then all the people will say that in that way only. Hello? Now you can comment. Anybody can comment. Okay. What are you seeing in this picture? Hello?
A woman, a lady.
Okay. Lady? What lady? Young lady?
An old woman and a young woman.
Okay. Some persons can see a young woman and some can see an old woman. I'm showing the same picture. Not a different picture to different people. The same picture. But what you see, some people see a young woman, a beautiful young woman, and some people see an old woman. Can you see that one? I think some people might have seen an old one and some people might have seen a young lady. Okay. So what actually changes? The picture is same. What actually changes? Hello? Okay, I'll continue. Nobody is responding. Okay. And
Our
actually
perception,
changes,
sir. Our
the perception only. Because what is perception? We are adding meaning to whatever sensations we are getting. The sensation is same. The sensation is, the picture is same. And some people are adding meaning to that one in one way, and other people are adding meaning in another way. So the perception actually changes. Now you can see an old woman. So I'll show another picture. See, certain diagrams are there. Is it steady or is it rotating? Some people can see it's a moving diagram, and some see it as still diagram. Hope you have seen that one. Hello?
It's
Anybody has seen it?
It's moving, sir. It's moving.
Okay.
The presentation not visible, sir.
Okay.
Presentation not visible, sir.
Okay. This is another picture. What do you see? Is it a straight? Are the straight lines or slanted lines?
It's not visible, sir.
Sir, no presentation seen now. Presentation is not visible for us.
Standard line.
Hello, sir. For the participants, kindly pin Neelambari music. Kindly pin Neelambari music. Presentation is visible. You have to pin Neelambari music.
Okay. This is another one. Usually, if you go to airport, we will be going through such a passage. Actually, what you see? Is it parallel or it is just coming into a certain point, converging into a particular point?
Particular point.
Okay.
Converging to a particular point.
But actually, this is parallel. This is only our perception is changing the picture. Okay. Okay. So, see, the reality may be something else, but how we perceive things, it can create stress to us. That's very important. So, actually, the external stressor may be harmless, but sometimes we may feel it harmless. You know, so many, especially these girls, will be afraid of cockroaches. Hello? How many are afraid of cockroaches?
Yes, me, sir.
Okay. Actually, it is harmless animal. It is not a lion. It is not a tiger. It is not an elephant, and it won't kill you. But you are afraid. Another person may come and pick that cockroach with their hand itself. So actually, different people perceive things in different ways. That's the thing. Okay. Another one is about works. See, you can see that some people, even if they do work for 1 hour or 2 hours, they will be just exhausted. And some people may work from the morning to evening or even the late night also. Then still also they may be energetic. Our Prime Minister is working 18 hours a day. 18 hours. Can you imagine ministers are working for 18, even our state ministers also, some of them. They are doing all the political activities. They will be attending the conferences, meetings, and everything will be there. Then they will have to sign the files and everything. In the late night also, they have to hear the problems of people. How many hours they have to work? And some people, even if they take a 1 hour class, they will be just exhausted. I'm getting echo. I don't know why it is. Okay, so you have to strike a balance between work and life. That means you should not bring so much work to home, or you should not bring the home to your institution also. Okay. Now, I'm just going to, because we don't have time, we have just 45 minutes only. I'll just go to the, anyway, I told the stress is going to kill us if we don't kill the stress. So how will we manage this stress? That's the problem. So all these coping strategies will be, in the beginning itself, I told, sometimes you may be doing it knowingly or sometimes unknowingly. What is coping strategies? We have to strike a balance between the stress and coping strategies. Coping strategies are simple thing, actions that people take to master, tolerate, reduce, or minimize the effect of stress. That means everybody tries to minimize the effect of stresses. Some may be victorious, some may not be victorious. So how we can master or tolerate, some we cannot master, but we have to tolerate certain stresses, and sometimes we can reduce that one, or sometimes we can minimize the effect of that. So all these kind of activities are called coping strategies. Okay. Types of coping strategies, there are usually, there are so many types of coping strategies. 3 are the main types: emotion-focused coping strategies, problem-focused coping strategies, and avoidance coping strategies. You can see that one. Emotion means it will be definitely based on emotions. And here in this picture, you can see that person is thinking. And here in avoidance coping strategies, that person is just turning back to that problem. Okay. So the types of coping strategies: problem-focused coping strategies, it can be proactive or reactive. Sometimes you may be attending it before the stressor, or sometimes as a reaction to the stressor. Then emotion-focused means you may be regulating your emotions to deal with that stress. Then sometimes avoiding or escaping from that stressor, and sometimes symptom management strategies. You may not be going deep into the problem or to manage that stress. So you will adopt to certain other things like smoking, drinking, or exercise, or whatever it is. So these are the 4 kinds of coping strategies. But I'm just attending the first 3 things first. That is problem focus, means directed to solve the problem or making plans to deal with the problem. Emotion focus means you may be trying to reduce the emotional distress arising out of the problem. Or avoidance means pushing the stressor out of awareness. I may not attend the stressor at all. I may not attend to the problem at all. I'll just turn my back and go for it. Then you can just classify these. The most important thing is problem-focused and emotion-focused coping strategy. Again, you can classify to active problem-focused coping and a passive problem coping. Active means solving a problem or searching for somebody's assistance, meeting an expert or something. Passive problem coping means procrastinating or evasion from problem. Then active emotional coping. Active emotional coping is emotional adjusting, like that, positive thinking or self-encouragement or whatever it is. Then passive emotional coping, self-actualization, self-accusation or blaming others or giving up or getting angry, all these passive emotion. So actually we have to go for the active problem coping and the active emotional coping. The other two are just negative. Types of coping. This is only a diagram. You can see coping strategies. There are 4 types: problem focused, emotion focused, avoidance, symptom management. And again, you can classify the problem focused to proactive, reactive, then emotion focused to positive, negative. Okay. Up to this, the theory part is over. Now we'll just directly go to the strategies. Not much theory. The theory is over already now. See, we know, as B.Ed students, you might have heard about this defense mechanism. Have you heard about defense mechanism? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, you have learned that. So many defense mechanisms are there. Freud's, usually you learn about this defense mechanism given by Freud only. Because defense mechanisms are actually coping strategies. The ways of coping with difficult feelings. Your mind is deal with the stress actually. But all these defense mechanisms are actually you are defending. You're not solving the problem. You're not attending the problem. You are defending yourself to reduce your anxiety or stress or that kind of feelings or whatever it is. So these are called defense effects. Let's just directly firstly go through that one, the defense mechanism. For example, aggression. Aggression, you know what aggression is. These are all symptoms. Sometimes you may quarrel with other people. Sometimes you may break something. Sometimes one person may snatch something from other. And this can be displaced aggression also. Suppose if a man gets so much, this one from his office, he may quarrel with his wife. Then the wife will abuse children. The children will go to the dog or something, kick a dog or some pet or like that. So this is also called displacement also. Means an emotional feeling is transferred to a person or object who is less dangerous. See, the father is quarreling to his son. The elder sister is quarreling to the younger brother. Displacement. My emotional feeling is transferred to a less harmful person. That is called displacement. And this displacement can be sometimes positive also. You can see that one. Usually, see, suppose the husband dies, then the wife will be alone in the house because nowadays all their son and daughters will be working somewhere else. She will be alone. Then that lady may go have some pets, a cat or dog or something. Then that emotion is transferred positively to, that is called positively to her pet. Whatever affection she had given to her husband, that will be transferred to her pet or cat or dog or whatever. That is called a positive defense. That's a good thing. Okay. Then another one is compensation. You may be knowing that one. Compensation is an attempt to make for a deficiency. Some students may not be good at studies. Then how will he compensate that one? He may be good in sports or arts or something else. So that way we are compensating. That's also good. Compensation. Denial. You see, this is a picture of an ostrich. What ostriches usually do, when the enemies attack, they will just sink their head to the desert. So denial is the refusal to accept the reality. That is dangerous thing. That's why it is called primitive. Accept the reality or fact, acting as if painful event. So we'll just turn back that. Otherwise, you will say that I haven't attended, I haven't seen that one. That way. So you are denying the stress. That's also harmful. Then another one is identification. This is very simple. Usually these students in the children in the adolescent stage or something, or even at the beginning childhood stage also do this identification. Children will use the girl child will use the sari of her mother. The boys will go and wear the shoes of his father, and the adolescents usually they will be fans of film stars. They may put their hairstyle like that one. So these are adjustment mechanisms which enables to achieve some sort of satisfaction of success to people or organization. Okay. Then another one is projection. Projection, you know, taking our unacceptable qualities or feelings to other people. We will say, no, it all happened just because of the other person. So that is called a projection. I'm not dealing, because you have already learned that one, all these things, defense mechanisms. That's why I'm just going speedily. Or sometimes when the wife and husband's quarrel, one person may say, you are not at all listening to me. The other person also will say, you are also not listening to me. The fact is that both may not be listening. That's what usually happens in married life. Then another one is rationalization. You know, this is the defense mechanism usually students adopt. Why did you fail in the examination? Most of the students will say, the teacher has not taken the classes. Okay, he or she didn't cover the topic. They didn't give the note. All because of this only, I failed. See, offering rational explanation in an attempt to justify attitudes or behavior or behavior. Okay, but this is actually a negative copying. This is a classic example of that one. You might have read that one, Aesop fable of fox and grapes. The fox didn't get the grapes. Then what did he tell? These grapes are sour. Okay. This is an example of rationalization. Then another one is repression. Repression is another defense mechanism. Means we will just, if there are some unpleasant experiences, naturally we will repress that all that experience to unconscious. Sometimes we may not be aware of that one also.
നമ്മള് സ്ട്രെസ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇതുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ വേറെ ഒരാളോട് ദേഷ്യപ്പെടത്തില്ലേ? അത് ഒരു
ഹലോ പറഞ്ഞോളൂ. ഹലോ, അത് പ്രൊജക്ഷൻ കേട്ടോ. ഞാനിപ്പോ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ പ്രൊജക്ഷൻ ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് ഒക്കെ അതിനകത്ത് വരുന്നതാണ്. Then reaction formation. Reaction formation is if there is unacceptable feelings, they are repressed, but we will just present the acceptable opposite feeling only. Suppose, for example, usually this happens in our homes. Suppose the mother-in-law comes to the son's house. The daughter-in-law may not be liking that one, but still she may tell that, oh mom, you should stay here for 1 month. Why do you come late? She will be showing just happy face, but may not be liking that one. So this is called reaction formation. Then another one is regression. Regression is going back. Regressing means going back or retreating to an earlier level of stages. See, actually, this is a small child. This is a small child, and this child is still a little, but he is crying. Actually, he is going back to his earlier stage to save his face. This also you can see that one. Sometimes these young girls, they may be just getting the teddy bears and hugging that one, just to thinking about the childhood or sucking the thumb. All these part of are examples of regression. Then another one is suppression. Suppression is voluntarily postponing or focusing attention to impulse which has reached consciousness. We are just suppressing the stressor or the problem consciously. That's called suppression. This is the difference between repression and suppression. Repression means you are just consciously suppressing the impulses. Repression means puts on a cheerful face, but you are repressing unconsciously those impulses. Okay. Then this is a positive one. Sublimation. Unacceptable desires or activities are redirected into socially desirable activities. Sometimes certain social actions will be there. They may join the certain organization. They may work for the public. Sometimes they may be doing painting or singing or whatever it is. Whatever repressed activities are there, they will show in a socially acceptable manner. That is called sublimation. Now we will just, before going to the coping strategy, up to this part, you know all these things. After that one, again, after this one also, you know that one, but you may not be recognizing whether it is negative or positive. First, I will just list the negative coping strategies. Negative coping strategies are strategies that seem to temporarily relieve stress. You may feel that the stress is relieved, but will also create more problems later. The following are the negative coping strategies. Because I think most of the people may be in the habit of this strategy. Procrastination. You know what is procrastination? Anybody can say? Hello? What is procrastination?
എല്ലാം നാളെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് മാറ്റി വെക്കുക.
അതെ. Postponing everything to tomorrow, and that tomorrow will not come. It will be going. So, for example, see, the young girl here in this picture, actually she is studying, and in between she is going to check the mobile. Sometimes WhatsApp may be there, Facebook may be there. Then she will think that, okay, I will just see the messages and I'll just respond that one. And then she will go to Facebook. And like that it will go and the time will lapse. The study may not be over. So this is procrastination. Procrastination means putting off things. See, you are changing the priorities in the downward manner. This person she has given the priorities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, but the priority is downwards. You are changing the priority. So sometimes you may not know the effects of procrastination. That's why I have given this quote. Procrastination is like a credit card. If you have a credit card, sometimes you can take a loan of 5 lakh rupees. Naturally, when we go for shopping, you will buy all the things. But later, after 2 months, you will have to pay. Then only you will know that, okay, there is 5 lakh loan. I have to pay within a one month or 2 months, or I have to remit the premium. So it's a lot of fun until you get the bill. Finally, anyway, one day you will have to pay. Procrastination. For example, in the case of students, even if however you bungle, whatever amount you bungle, at the end you have to face the examination. The day will come. The examination day will be. Sometimes it may postpone. The university may postpone the examination. Anyway, you will have to write the examination. The last day you can't prepare everything. So procrastination is called the thief of time. Actually, thief of time means thief of life itself. Because our life is just a bunch of moments. So, hello? Hello?
Sir, we will manage that, sir. 1 second. You can carry on.
Okay. Next thing is worry. Worry means too much concern about what will happen. This procrastination is a negative coping strategy. Another one is worry. Too much concern about what will. Okay, so you will be thinking too much about the future or about the examination or whatever it is. But my question is that by worrying, can you solve that problem? Worrying won't stop the bad things from happening. Sometimes it just stops you from enjoying the good. You are losing the present also. You are thinking about the future and worrying in the present, and you are losing the future also. So these are the things. Actually, 3 R's are there: avoid, hurry, worry, and curry. If you do these things, you will be buried like that. So hurry will be. See, you can see if you go to the city, you can see young men will be just rushing on the bike, new generation bikes. Sometimes they will be buried. Like that, worry also. Actually, I told the beginning itself, it's a silent killer. Worry also kills you. And curry means, we are all familiar with curry, but too much flavor. Some people may be adding too much flavor to that one. That can cause, especially in the case of fast food. It's causing so many problems, even cancer also to people. So all this, actually, it can worry you. So worry is of no use in solving the problem. You are spoiling the present and you are spoiling the future also. Okay. So this is a negative coping strategy. Whenever I say negative coping strategy, if you are having that strategy, try to avoid that one. That's better. That's good for your life. That's what I'm saying. I won't say sometimes negative. You can understand from whatever I say that it's negative or positive. Another one is tension reduction. This is a very bad strategy. Very bad strategy. Very negative strategy. Making oneself feel better by taking alcohol, cigarettes, or other drugs or something. Some people, when they get tensed, they will start smoking, chain smokers. Our former minister, finance minister K. Mani, he used to tell that he used to take 6 or 7 packets of cigarettes per day, means 60 to 70 cigarettes per day, especially in the budget. When he has to present the budget, before that one, he used to take continuously 1 cigarette after another like that, 6 to 7 packets a day. But at a particular time, he stopped that one. Did it change the fate of the budget by taking so many? Actually, it's a bad tension reduction strategy. And then some people may opt for alcohol. And nowadays, so many young people are getting into having these drugs, injections, tablets, and everything. Some may take sleeping pills. All these are bad, very bad coping strategy. So if anybody is having such strategy, please understand that it's not going to benefit you anyway in your life. Then ignoring the problem. Some people are there, just like denial in the defense mechanism, ignoring the problem, consciously blocking out the problem with an acceptance that there is no way of dealing with it. I may not be able to deal with the problem. I'm afraid of the problem. I don't have the strategy. So what naturally I will do? I'll just ignore that one. These are the 3 apes you might have seen, Gandhiji's favorite apes. Don't speak, don't see, don't hear. But in the case of this problem, stressor, it is bad also. So naturally, what you just like ostrich, you will just dip your head in the desert. So then also the problem will be there. If you are not solving the problem will not get away. The problem will be there. So problems only get solved when you stop ignoring. Until then, the problem will remain. And sometimes it may aggravate also. Then negative self-talk. This is usually students. I know many students, or even us also, usually do the self-talk. Self-talk is negative dialogue within yourself, limiting your ability to believe in yourself and your abilities. Suppose in the colleges, the teachers may be knowing that one. So some students may be very good at singing, but if you call them to the stage, they may not come. Okay, I don't know. Sorry, sir, I can't. Like that they will say. So always, actually, it's an opportunity. How to use that opportunity? Even if it goes bad, it's okay. Go. That's all. The first day it may not be good. The second day it may not be good. Sometimes you are invited to give a small talk on a small topic. You may not be able to perform. But by continuously doing that one day you will become better. So just avoid this negative talk. Actually, it's a burden upon your shoulders. I can't, I am not worthy. Some people may, usually some young boys and girls, they may see that, okay, I'm not looking good. See, young boys, they may not be having mustache. That's a problem. They'll feel guilty of that one. Then sometimes girls also, my color is not good. So just avoid this negative talks. See, I think you can see me. I think all of us, you can see me. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm a
Yes,
bald
yes,
man.
I can see you.
I'm a bald man. Okay. I'm a bald man. Suppose I think, oh, I am bald. I am not looking good. Always thinking this one. I am bald. I don't have hair. Then how can I perform? I mean, definitely, if I think like in the past and present, then nobody will call me for taking this kind of class, because that's a burden. I just forgot that one. That happened sometimes back, some 20 or 25 years I happened, but it didn't change my life at all. I have a beautiful beard. Okay, thank you. So whatever we have, that's good. Take that positive. Whatever we don't have, leave it. That's all. So just avoid this negative talk. Usually we talk internally. When we are alone, we will talk that I'm not good at that thing. I'm not good at studies. I'm not good at this thing, like that. Okay, just do that negative self-talk. Okay, if anybody is having that one, just understand that negative thinking will never make your life positive. Only positive thinking will make your life positive. Then this is another thing, self-blame. Another negative coping strategy. Accept that oneself is responsible for. I accept that, okay, some people are like that. Whenever there is a problem, they will say, it is my fault. Okay, I accept it. Even if that problem is not their fault, then also they will repent on that. Like that. You can see that. There's no point. Actually, this self-blame or some people say self-pity. They will say, I don't know anything. If you call for them for something, I don't know, how. Always this don't will be there. Just get avoid of that. Self-blame or self-pitying is very dangerous. coping mechanism. It won't take you anywhere. Then keep to self. From the pictures itself, actually this pictures itself says what it is. Keep to self. Sometimes in the colleges, certain students will be very gloomy. If you ask them, do you have any problem? Why are you looking so gloomy? They will say, no, sir, no problem. No problem. The next day also they will be so. The next day also they will be so. If their friends also ask, they will say, no problem, no problem. They won't just disclose anything to their friends. They will be just repressing or suppressing that emotions or stress to themselves. Actually, it is dangerous. That kind of people usually commit suicide. Understand? When you are not sharing, when you are keeping everything to yourself, that may cause some mental disturbance. Or it may lead to repression or sometimes neuroticism. Then another one is not coping. Certain people may not be able to cope with at all. Individuals' inability to deal with the problem and the development of the psychosomatic symptoms. They will not be able to cope. And they will not be attending their problems. That's another way. Yeah, at least you try that one. If you can do alone, do that one. Otherwise, you get somebody's help. Not coping is not a mechanism. Then crying. Actually, crying is a neutral one. Sometimes it is good and sometimes it is bad also. For example, in the case of regression, which we already told, regression. Elder people act like younger people, just like childhood. That way it is bad. Regression is bad. But sometimes it is good. Ventilating the pent-up feelings or pent-up emotions, that crying is good. You might have heard about this problem, this poem. Has anybody heard about this problem? Lord Tennyson's poem, Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know the story? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Then please tell. Okay. What is the story? Hello?
So the warrior is brought to the house and her wife is not crying. She is not releasing her emotions.
Okay.
And many people are trying hard to make her cry because if she is not crying, she can be mad. But finally, one old lady is bringing her child to her. So seeing her child, she started crying so that it is going to be a mental relief for her.
Okay.
That's the story.
So,
it's a beautiful poem by Tennyson.
Yes. The poem is like Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead. Her husband was brought to home as dead. And the young lady didn't cry at all. Everybody tried to make her cry. But she didn't cry at all. So, one old lady, actually, she took the face cloth from the face of her husband. Then also she didn't weep. Finally, what another 90-year-old lady, what she did, she brought her younger child and gave it to her lap. And at that time, the term used is like summer tempest came her tears. That's the word Tennyson used. Like summer tempest came. What a kind of shower. Where at the end of the summer, sometimes rain comes. What kind of, all the emotions will come out. Like that, she came in tears and told, "Sweet my child, I live for thee." Then only she cried. So that way, crying is good. Ventilating your emotion. You should be able to cry also sometimes. You should not repress. That can lead to so many mental problems. Because in counseling, I have met such people. One young girl who is studying in the 10th standard, she actually, she was very loving to her father, attached to her father than her mother. And at a particular moment, this fellow accidentally died. And she didn't cry at all. She was very good at studies. But after 2, 3, 4 months, she became very gloomy, weak in studies, and lost all her interest and came to this kind of mental problems and came for treatment. So that way, crying is good. You have to ventilate your pent-up emotions and feelings. Okay. Then another one is wishful thinking. Wishful thinking, you mean something good should happen. Hoping for the best. That's good. But it's neutral. You can't say it's all and not acting at all, then it is negative. You may think that I should become a billionaire, I should become a very good cricketer, but you are not going to the field and playing. I should get a good job, but you are not attending for that one. So wishful thinking is good as an ambition, and if you work on that one, it's good. If you are thinking alone, it is bad also. It is negative coping strategy. Then this is one thing, spiritual or religious support. This is also a neutral strategy. You can't say it is positive or negative, but you can make it positive or negative. That way. Spiritual or religious. Why I have given that one? Are they different? Spiritual and religious different? Anybody? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Both are different.
What is the difference?
Spiritual is anyone can be spiritual, but religious it is according to one concept only.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Any other answers?
So one becomes religious based on our the religion where we are born into. But our spirituality depends on how we perceive religion, how we read about religion, and how we view the world.
How we practice also. That's
yes.
very important. Okay. That is religious and spiritual. Sometimes it may look same, but it may not be same. One can be very religious, observing all the rituals, but may not be spiritual at all. I know so many people like that. They are very religious, but they may not share a single thing with another person. They may donate a single penny to another person. They may not help another person, but may be very religious. They may dislike all other people. But some people, they may not be religious at all. They may not be following any religion very strictly, but they will be having all the good values. I think you also might have seen such people. Also, all the religiosity should lead to spirituality. If it is not contributing to spirituality, that religious practice is of no use at all. It should lead to spirituality. So that is the difference between spirituality. So people should develop this one. I'm leaving that portion because it's a very controversial thing. So spirituality and religious support, pray for and guidance so that everything will be all right. So, okay, of course, you can go for religious or spiritual support from temple or mosque or church. Okay, you can pray that one, but that prayer alone will not suffice. You pray. Prayer is for just getting confidence. And if you are not acting on that one, you have to act. The person, God will not come down on you and he won't act on behalf of you. You have to act. So this is a neutral side. If you are not acting, it is negative. If you are acting, okay, religious support or spiritual support is, if you are acting that one, it is positive. So that is religious and that one. Now we will, so all these are negative coping strategies or neutral coping strategies. Whatever we told towards the end was neutral coping strategies. You can make them either way, just like water. You can make the water as good or bad, that way, just like with our thoughts. So now we are going to the positive problem-focused coping strategy. Problem-focused coping. For example, the first one is focus on problem solving. Every problem will have a solution. There is a saying that actually problem and solution are just the two sides of a coin. You might have heard that. Just like a lock and key, every lock is provided with a key also. That is supplemented with that one. It is with that one. Only thing is that we have to take that key and open that lock. So every problem will have a solution. How we have to find out the solution. We have to think about that one. We have to act on that one. That is how systematically learning about the problem and taking different options. First, we have to understand what the problem is. Usually what people do, they won't think about the problem. They will tell about the problem. They won't think about the problem. They won't act on the problem. They will tell and tell and tell about the problem. Always they will be telling about it, but will not be thinking about the solution. So first we have to think about for every problem there is a solution. So we have to think about the solution. Sometimes we may not be able to see the solution, find the solution, but then we can take the help of other people, because the world is around you. So many people are there. So many people who can just find a solution to them are around you. You have to meet them, ask for help. That's all. So focus on solving the problem. So this is the problem solving loop, identifying the problem, what the problem it is. Really, we have to understand that one, explore information about it or create ideas, select the good ideas, sometimes build the ideas and evaluate the result. Then you go to the problem and work on that. That is a problem solving loop. Sometimes you can get the help of other people. Then another positive coping strategy is planning the future. I'm just asking my students whether you have any plan about the future. What are you going to do in the next 5 years? Hello? Can anybody hear?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, today it is 14th June 2021. Can you say on 14th June 2026, who would you be? And that day, for the next 5 years, what is your plan? Every day you will just wake up, have the food, then go around, do some mobile activity. Sometimes you may learn, sometimes attend a webinar, and then in the night you will go to sleep. Like that, the days will go. Are you going to do like that? Or you have any plan for the future?
Yes, sir. There is a plan.
Okay. What is the plan? Can you tell?
Sir, cracking net examination, then doing PhD and go on.
Okay. Within how many years?
I'm doing MEd now. So I'll be cracking net within 2 years, I think so. I'm practicing for that.
Okay.
Then I would like to do PhD if I get an opportunity. I will try my level best first. That's it.
Okay. No, level best is not good. You have to get it. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Once
Sure.
you decide, you have to get it. Level best I tried, but I didn't get. That's not an option.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will do.
Okay. Within how many years? For PhD, at least you have to do for 4 years or 5 years sometimes. Minimum 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to calculate. Write on a book. Not telling about this one. You take a diary and write on in the front page itself on 14th July 2026, I am going to be this. And for what all I should do. Just list that one. So this diagram is there. Start, think what all you do, analysis, just analyze those things. All these things we have to explain very elaborately, but I don't have time. Then plan. What all I will in this month, June, July, June I will do this thing, July I will do this thing, August. So for the next 6 months I will do this thing. Then you get a plan. Whenever you apply for a UGC project, you have to keep a plan like this. What will you do all these 6 months like that? Then planning, trying, doing. Sometimes you may fail, then do again you may fail. I know people who have written 8 times the net examination, they didn't get that one. So how many times you will try after failing? 10 times? If you fail 10 times, will you try for the 11th time? So this is called persistence. Do again and again, and finally you will get success. That's all. Until we get success, we should do that. Okay. Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you.
Okay. Then fixing priorities. I'll just go some more fast because time is running out. Fixing priorities. We have to set our priorities. Means we have to have a to-do list. Every day it is better. For example, especially for students or young people, that is better have every day. Every day. For example, tomorrow it is Sunday. Okay, it's a holiday. I'll do nothing. I'll just go and sleep or I'll have fun. That's all. No. If you are intended to get a job, at least every day you have to work for how many hours? How many hours?
4 to 5 hours.
No, man. It depends upon your age. It depends upon your age. If you are going to get an admission to IAS, if you are going to clear the IAS, if you work for 4 to 5 years, will it be sufficient? It depends upon your goal. Okay, if you are going to attend the LDC examination, it's okay. Sometimes it may be okay. If your task is still high, sometimes you have to work for 18 hours. See, I know a person, a student, He just cleared his MD from Trivandrum Medical College. After his MBBS, he worked 18 hours per day for getting the all the 18 hours. Can you imagine? For 1 year, not for a day or not for 1 month or like that, 18 hours per day for 1 full year. And he got it. Now he just completed that. So if your aim is big, you have to work more hard. That's all. Okay. So fix your priorities. Okay. I'm just going to then work hard and achieve. Work hard, achieve. This is the ambition, commitment, and hard work. So from the primary class itself, usually teachers ask, what is your ambition? Everybody will say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a so I want to be an IAS officer, I want to be a pilot, like that. So are you really committed to that one? Are you doing any hard work for that one? Anybody can wish for that. So, see, there is a saying that if wishes were horses, every beggar could have ridden it. You can wish anything. You can have the ambition. But are you so committed and hardworking to achieve that? So working hard to achieve that. It's just like climbing Everest, Mount Everest. It's not so easy. But once you can achieve that, until then you have to work that. See, this is a quote, actually, you might have heard that the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by a sudden flight, but while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the life. I think you might have heard that. If you are going to sleep for 12 hours and you wish to achieve a great thing, you may not be able. Okay. Then this is about time management. Okay, I will just go fast because I don't have time. So see, there are 4 quadrants in time management. The first quadrant, the red quadrant, is urgent and important. Very thing. You have to do it urgently and it is very important. Second is not urgent, but it is important. The yellow quadrant. It is important, but not urgent. Then third is quadrant 3, urgent, but not important. Such activities are there. Very urgent, but not important. So for example, sending a message to a person may be urgent. Then the fourth one, not important, not urgent. Regularly doing work on this mobile or playing game, important. It is called time wasters. See, you know where you have to work for your future? This in the second quadrant. Important, but not urgent. Because even if it is not urgent, if it is important, you have to work on that. Just for example, your NET examination. It is very important, but it is not urgent. After 2 years only, you are going to attend that. But if you work from now itself, you can perform very well. Otherwise, one day it will become urgent and important. But at that time, you may not be able to work. You may not be able to perform. Okay, since I don't have time, I'm not going to take this is about time management tips. I'm leaving that one. Then another one is focus on positive and cheerful outlook on every situation. Always think positive, not negative. Some people will think the negative things only. For example, this is the positive thing means that person may think it will happen. But for the same thing, the another person may say it will never happen. I will not succeed at all. But the realist thing is that it could happen. So what you have to do, that could happen, you have to make will happen. You have to work for that. So this is positive thinking. Believe that will happen. I think you might have seen that 3 Idiots film by, have you seen that one, 3 Idiots? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. In that one, this usually when they do these things, operation and everything, they'll say, everything is okay. Like that, they are saying something.
All is well.
All is well. Always say all is well. Everything will happen. We shall overcome. There's a saying that we shall overcome someday. Like that song is there. Okay. See, means you should find a ray of hope. Hello? Shall I continue? Hello?
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because somebody told something, that's why. Okay, I just go speedily because Bendix has told I can take up to 6:15. That's why. Okay, this is about optimism. in every effort, every cloud, you should see a ray of hope, actually. This is pessimism. You can see this glass of water and you can say it is half filled. And you can say it is half empty also. The pessimist see it is half empty. And the optimist will see that it is half full. That way you can see. See, for another, I'll show the diagram. See, the same person, one person is having hair half full, half head of hair, and another one is half empty. One is happy and another one is gloomy. The thing is same. So it is your perception that which changes. Okay. There is a story. I'm leaving that story. So positive thinking. If there is positive thinking, actually our thinking leads to actions. And the actions will lead to habits. If you do something continuously, it become a habit. And these habits become a positive result. For example, if you rise at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock every morning, that action, it will become a habit and it can lead to positive results. Okay, I'm not going to explain so much things because since we don't have time. Then next one is confidence. Okay, with confidence, you can reach anything, amazing heights which you can't imagine sometimes with confidence. And without confidence, even the simplest thing you may fail also. See, I think you might have seen this one. Have you seen this photo anywhere earlier? Actually, this person, this old man is 103 years old and created a Guinness record by diving from a plane, para-jumping. 103 years old and created history in para-jumping, and he got a Guinness World Record. See, can you imagine a person jumping from a plane in a parachute at 103 years old? That is confidence. And he created it. So if you think you can, you can. If you think I can't, then you can't. So this is unstoppable confidence. How so many dogs are there, but still the cat is going. It is confidence. Okay. So think I can. Okay. Then concentrating. Concentrating means focusing on just one thing. Or suppressing competing activities. Competing activity means, suppose I am taking the class, beside there is my mobile phone is there, so many messages could have come, in between I can go and watch that one. No, I just concentrate on this one. Just like that, you may be having examination, but sometimes you may go for the Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever it is, Instagram, or now it is Clubhouse. Okay, then your concentration is more. Okay. There are so many stories are there, but I am not going to. So you can work wonders if you concentrate on it. Okay. Then next one is persistence. All these are positive coping strategies. That's why I asked earlier. If you fail 10 times in the next examination, are you going to write the examination for the 11th time? See, yes. Sometimes everything will go against you. Everything will be against you. Everything will be blocking your way. But still we have to strive. Then only we will get that. If we go just return from there, you may not be able to get that. So never give up. See, you can see the crane is just swallowing a frog, but still it is catching its neck. Never ever give up. Even if you till the last moment, until you completely fail, then also you try. Then seeking professional help. I'll just finish within 15 minutes. Seeking professional help means whenever you have a problem, some people may not tell it to anybody. That's a negative coping strategy. I already told that one. Means they will repress that problem. But go to qualified people and help discuss about that one, how to solve that problem. For example, to a doctor or a psychologist or an advocate or whatever. Go to qualified people and discuss. You can seek the help of that. This is an emotion-focused coping strategy. From here, it is emotion-focused. Then seeking social support. Means talk to your friends, help and etc. But sometimes for professional help, this may not be suitable. But the social support is there. If friends are alone with us, then you can do many things. So always make friends. That's good. Then social action. Join people to have, for example, in the COVID time, you can make usually so many colleges are making then sanitizers, then masks and everything. We have to join people to have some kind of social action. In the flood time also, we have to work. Sometimes another one is farming, and or even colleges and schools, these farming activities are there. I'm just going speedily. Then investing in close friends. Engage with in intimate relationships. My question is, do you have intimate relationships? Otherwise, you should have intimate relationship at least with one person. Means we should be able to share everything with that person, at least one person. So always have good relationship. This is a very good thing in dealing with problems. So make friends. Okay. So practice the art of seeing together. Not always in my perception, but along with friends. When you see along with friends or along with relatives or along with others, then you may have a different perception. Your perception may not be the same. Okay. Then seek to belong. Somebody should be there to just hug and make us close to their hearts. Caring and concern for whether it is parents or friends or whatever, relatives or whatever. So seek to belong. Somebody should be there. Usually what people do, especially in family life, they will quarrel with the children, they will quarrel with the wife or husband, or finally they will be alone. They may not be having any friends and they will be stressed. And this stress can lead to so many problems also. So seek to belong, always with some. There may be problems, try to solve the problems. Okay. Then protect yourself for positive self-talk. This is very important. That is inner monologue that makes you feel about yourself. You should value yourself. You should have pride in yourself. Otherwise, if you don't value yourself, if you don't merit yourself, then who is going to value you? So at least it's not about boasting, but we should be proud about ourselves. We should be confident about ourselves, our capacities. Okay. So always have positive self-talk. Means, okay, I am good. Even though I am not so much good, but still, okay, I can do so things. I can sing a little. I can do that thing. I can cook very well. Whatever it is, whatever is your positive capacities, be proud of that. Okay. Then, okay, these are the power of positivity. Builds confidence, improves attitude, promotes self-love, helps cope with stress, allows taking risks, encourages motivation, helps work through challenges. Okay, I don't have time to deal with all those things. I'll just go on. Then seeking relaxing diversion. Don't always work for 24 hours. At least take some relaxing diversions. If you are interested in reading, you can do that. Then you can watch TV or this physical recreation. That's very important. Even you can do that. Even now it is lockdown period. You can do it in your home itself. No need to go out. You can do it in your home itself. Some kind of physical, because our body needs some sort of exercise, not food alone. Some sort of exercise. As youth, you may not be realizing that one, but towards the aging, after 40 or 50 years, you will understand that your joints may not be properly working. You have diabetes, you have cholesterol, you have this thing, that thing, everything, heart problems. All these youth will one day become old people. Understand that one. You may not be remaining like this. So you have to have some sort of exercise. Or you play, if you want to play a game, you can do that. Or even painting. It's a relaxing day. If you are good at painting, do that one. If you are not good at also, you paint that one. Because some people may not realize their talents. I know a lady who started painting after 25 years, 55 years, at the age of 55. Until then, she was not knowing she know how to paint. Because her husband was working in the UAE, and suddenly he got a heart accident and he could not work at all. So he just returned home. There was no income at all. Then she started sari painting. This is sari painting. This you can see sari painting. And now she is making enormous amount of money. Another girl I know, she's just 35 or 40 years. She is a housewife. She have enough time. So she started painting. Now she's selling her paintings, 3,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, like that. So you can take this kind of relaxing diversion. Okay. Then having pets. This is also another diversion. You can rear pets also. Now it has become a very good business also. So many ladies are just wearing these dogs, that pet birds, cats, and everything. Sometimes the puppy, it costs 25,000, 30,000, like that. It's a good business at all now. Okay, having pets, so sharing with this pets. That's all. Now I don't know whether you have heard about this cow cuddling or cow hugging. It's a recent trend in Western countries. So, means when you hug somebody, naturally your love-making hormone, which I called oxytocin, that is produced. If you are just caring your pets or your garden or water, once you are in love, naturally this oxytocin hormone will come. It will relax us. So you know how much it charges in the America for cow hugging? 22,000 rupees for 90 minutes. Actually, it started in Netherlands. You can just search in the internet. 22,000 for 90 hours. You will get so many pictures also. See, in India, it is not it is very common among village people, not in city people, this cow cuddling. Okay, then you can do cooking. If you like cooking, you can do that one. Take relaxing diversion. Now there are so many recipes available in YouTube. You can do that one. Okay, then another one is yoga. Yoga, up to 2014, we were not so much aware of that one. Our potential of India, yoga, the concept. But in 2014, the UN recognized this June 21st coming as International Yoga Day. And now it is in the Western countries, it's $1 million business, yoga. They just realized the potential of yoga. This is about Surya Namaskara. You can do that one. Yoga actually the name is Yogam. Yoga means union. Union with the ultimate reality or the nature or the God or whatever it is. Actually, it has got 8 steps at Ashtanga Yoga. You can see that one. I don't have time to tell about the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, etc. Actually, what we use as yoga here is only asana, the posture only. But Yama means external disciplines, the moral, the values, everything in the external world. Niyama means internal discipline. You have to just have that one, internalize that one. Then you have to do some exercise as meditation posture. Then pranayama, breath control. Pratyahara, withdrawal of senses from unnecessary activities. Dharana, concentration. Then dhyana, meditative absorption. And samadhi, union with the ultimate reality, whatever it is, nature or God or whatever it is. So it is called supreme bliss. Then meditation, it's another part. It's also very important thing. It's actually, meditation is the 7th steps of meditation. Dhyana, it is called in Ashtanga Yoga. It is not simply sitting. If you can't do meditation, you can simply sit like that. I don't have time, so I'm just rushing. So even the Time magazine, they also gave an article on the science of meditation. It has got a science. Okay, I'm not. Then if you can't do anything, okay, you can't do yoga, you can't do meditation, at least sit silently, silent sitting. That you can do. Okay. One thing I may ask, do you sit silently at least 5 minutes a day? Every day, do you sit for 5 minutes silently? Nobody is responding. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If not practice, even you can do it inside your home. Sit for silently. Whatever things be there, whatever problems are, just sit silently for 5 minutes. If you can sit for 10 minutes, okay. 15 minutes, it's okay. Just sit silently. No phone, no TV, no talking, no nothing at all. Just keep away all your problems. Whatever problems, the examination or chitti or whatever it is, just leave all those problems and sit silently for 5 minutes. Then taking a deep breath, it is pranayama. Even you can do in the nature or in your home itself, or even you can sitting on a chair itself, you can take, because it is good for your lives. Pranayama. Take your we take so much food, we take water, but the most important thing is air, pranan, oxygen. We are not concerned about that one. Now we are concerned because one oxygen cylinder costs about 50,000 rupees nowadays in the corona, or 1 lakh. It's another part. So now we are bothered, know that one, but still we are not bothered. So take ample amount of oxygen inside. Actually, this oxygen, when you get oxygen level low, oximeters are there, then all your activities will be poor. All your life will be there. So take ample amount. It is free. Anybody can take from anywhere. Okay, then singing. Okay, because I'm very much fond of this Yesudas and Janaki. That's why Jayachandran. That's why I've given the of all photos. But if you can't sing like them, at least sing in the bathroom. All our bathroom singers. Okay, at least you, because when you are so stressed, just try that one. You just forget about that one and sing for some time. Naturally, your stress will go. That's a very positive coping strategy. Okay, or playing some musical instruments if you like so, or at least you can hear music. Good music. Good music means Pacifying music, that also should be. Nowadays, the music are not at all pacifying also. By hearing that music itself, you get stressed. So, pacifying music. Okay, harmonizing music. Then dancing. If you know, see the Rasputin dance, nowadays it is in news, Rasputin or Zumba dance or classical dance or any dance, any form. If you are so stressed, try dancing. Just close the door of the room, just put a music and just try for 5 minutes. Naturally, you will relieved of the stress. No problem. Even if you know the dancing or not at all, do something, do it. Okay, or kitchen gardens or gardening. Nowadays, you can do that one. Even in terrace also, you can do that. Terrace farming is there. You see, this one is, they have made this kitchen garden on the terrace. I know I have so many stories, but I don't have time to tell. Even Trivandrum, I know I have a relative. He is living in just 4 cents, and he's doing growing all the vegetables on his terrace. Oh, just 4 cents. You can just imagine. Or nature walk. It is another one. At least in between, you go to nature. That is very pacifying, very soothing. Anywhere, or trekking, or to forest, or to seashore, or to your paddy field, or wherever. Okay. Then finally, I just, before concluding, when you are so stressed, take a bath. Even that can pacify you, calm you. Simply take a bath. That's very good thing. Or the very easiest thing is just abandon all the things, just leave all the things, let it be there, whatever problem is there, go and have a nice sleep. Forget everything and sleep. Sleep nicely, not disturb sleeping. When you go for sleeping, then also you should not think about that one. Okay. Then time out, take a short break and relax. Think about yourself. In between, you can take a time out. You know about footballers and everything, you know, they will take a time out. 1 minute, I will just go. My battery is low. So, just understand the art of living and dying. You can either live or die. So, this is a problem-solving solution given by Guru Gopal Das. I don't know whether you have heard about this Guru Gopal Das. See, do you have a problem in life? Okay, everybody have a problem. No, if there is no problem, then why worry? Do you have a problem in life? Can you do something about it? Okay, if it is yes, then why worry? Okay, do you have a problem in life? Can you do anything about it? No, then why worry? See, this is the most simplest solution. The video is there towards the end. If I get time, I'll show that. Then, so the beauty of life blossoms in the right brain. Not we are always focusing on the left brain itself. The music, the picture, whatever it is, all the beauty blossoms in the right brain. So there should be a harmony between right brain and left brain. So life can be joyful at any time. What matters is your perception and attitude. Means strategies, perception and attitude. Stop a while, look around, enjoy the beauty of life. Path to happiness is open to anyone. Starting the journey is your choice. You have to start on your, whether you decide whether I have to live happily or don't live. That's all. So make your day begin with happiness and calm and end with happiness and calm. Every day should be happy. The simple message is love and laughter. Smile at anything and any time. Because smile is the most beautiful expression and language of human being. Every time you see another person, try to smile. Even college, or even if an acquaintance or relative or somebody as teacher or somebody is coming, even if that person is not smiling, you just smile at them. That's it. That's because a smile is a curve that sets everything straight. That's the saying. See, laughing. See who these people are. They are not silly people. One is Albert Einstein, the most intellectual brain in the world. The another one is Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Kalam, Nehru. If they can laugh, why don't we laugh? Usually, most people won't laugh at all. Teachers, especially teachers, they'll be wearing a face mask, not this corona mask, another face mask. They will not smile at us. Then you can't think about laughing at all. So a day without laughter is a day wasted. Charlie Chaplin, it's a saying by Charlie Chaplin. So happiness, see, happiness is an attitude. You can't buy it from that one, by somebody else. You can't buy it from market. If you have crores of rupees that hit you, you can't buy that. Happiness is this person is sitting on the ground, but still he has drawn a sofa and everything in, and he's sitting nicely. So happiness is an attitude. In my phone, I have given that DPS. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. Okay. So enjoy time with your family or beloveds. I'm going fast. Teaching copy skills and self-regulation, school counseling. Actually, we don't deal much about stress management in schools or colleges. We are just giving science and everything, science or maths or whatever it is to students. So coping skills for students, reading, breathing exercise, labeling feeling, whether I am sad or happy, positive self-talk, artwork, exercise, playing game in the right way, not wrong way. So this is the graph of life. Live every moment. Usually people live, this is the typical pattern, means either in the past or in the future and not in the present. The ideal pattern of living is in the present. Past is gone, future is not yet arrived. So live in the present. If you are living in the present in a good manner, then your future will be good, and then your past also will be good. Sri Ravi Shankar's saying is there, present is the present of the goal. Present is the present of the goal. So enjoy it. So your thoughts create your world. Choose them wisely. You can make your world a happy world or a world a hell. It's up to you. So experience peace of mind, joy, and happiness. So, okay, thank you. Because my time is over, I am just stopping. If I get time, I'll show you a small video of just 1 minute. I don't know whether George sir and Bendik sir will permit that one. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Nobody is there, I think. Okay.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, I'll just show a video. Very simple video. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Suresh sir, are you presenting?
Okay, okay. Can you hear that one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hello,
You stopped the presentation, sir.
hello, can you hear?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear, sir.
Hello?
Suresh sir, we can hear you.
Audible,
Are
sir.
you
You are audible.
Okay, okay. So video is over. Have you seen that one video?
No, sir.
No.
Because you stopped your presentation.
We haven't seen the video.
Okay, okay. I'll try that one. Can you see now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Can you hear?
it's a beautiful slide.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When followed in life, I guarantee you, life will be different. I guarantee you, if this is applied in life, we can have peaceful night's sleep. Here it is. Do you have a problem in life? No? Then why worry? Do you have a problem in life? Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes? Then why worry? Do you have a problem in life? Yes? Can you do something about it? No? Then why worry? Isn't it? Isn't it? Why worry? क्यों हम लोग चिंता कर रहे हैं? Why are we constantly bogging our minds down with anxiety that is just absolutely not allowing us to have peace of mind?
Okay, I am stopping my presentation. I hope we haven't bored you so much. So, hello.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Your
you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
presentation. Thankful.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wish all of you a happy future life. I think my
Thank you, sir.
presentation
Very
has
informative
been
session,
beneficial.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Wish you also the same, sir.
In a limited period of time, you've given us a very wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next is the discussion session. Participants, now is the time for your comments, suggestions, and questions. Everyone is welcome. Dear participants, here we come to the conclusion of the Google platform. I call Sanila Manoj to express the words of gratitude.
Thank you, Soumya. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Sanila.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
yes.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which brings from the soul. At the very beginning, let me thank Almighty for this wonderful opportunity and for the blessings they showered throughout this meeting. Let me express my gratefulness to our today's guest of honor, Dr. Suresh Sir, former Associate Professor, NSS Training College, Changanashiri, for the inspiring talk on positive coping strategies, the key for stress-free life. Sir changed the topic to coping strategies, the key for a happy life during the talk. The talk was very useful and an eye-opener for all of us. The great PPT presentation and also all the strategies definitely gives us an insight for a stress-free and a happy life. Most of us were able to relate to it, sir. The chat box messages are the evidence for how the talk benefited everyone. On behalf of everyone presented here, let me express our gratitude to you. Thank you so much, dear Suresh sir. Let me thank our principal, Dr. K.Y. Bendik sir, who is the backbone of our institution. The initiatives, the inspirations, and the valuable guidance given by our principal are the force which keeps us going. All-hearted thanks to you, sir, on behalf of everyone present here. Thank you so much, dear sir. Let me next convey my gratitude to our research coordinator, Dr. Jojo Jones, sir. His presence always fills us with immense positive energy. I thank you, sir, on behalf of each one of us present here for all the support you are providing for us. Thank you so much, dear Jojo, sir. Let me next express my gratefulness to our dear Dr. Ansi ma'am, Assistant Professor, Matthew Phillips Training College, for all the technical support she is providing for our insight in depth from the very first talk. On behalf of Research Wing and everyone present here, thank you so much, dear Ansi ma'am. Let me next express my wholehearted thanks to all the respected guides, teachers, all the well-wishers, research scholars, students of B.Ed and M.Ed, and all others for your valuable presence, which makes this initiative a great one. Thank you so much for your participation. Next, I would like to thank the persons who are the strength behind all the programs of our research wing, our Secretary Soumya and Akansha. Let your headship lead all our programs to a great success. Thank you so much, both of you, and all the research scholars of our MTTC Research Wing on behalf of everyone present here. Let me conclude my part with the words of John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. So, dear friends, what we get from our insight in depth every week, we all must ensure that we will try to live by them. Once again, thank you all. We will meet again next week with another thought-provoking insight in depth. Stay safe. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Soumya.
Thank you, Sanila. Thank you, Sanila. Now let us rise for the national anthem.
Thank you.
Thank you.